Hey guys, I'm back with another Japan talk. The last one seemed really good and had a lot of fun with it, so I'd like to continue these stories. Today's story is the time we moved from our one bedroom apartment to the house that we're in now, where the studio is located. This is the first time that I ever used a moving company. I think in my life, as far as I can remember, I've always done moving, on my own or with friends and things like that. But it's really done so different in Japan. And this story is kind of wacky. Like, I can't believe the price that we paid for what we actually got. And it's insane. So here we go. I don't know how moving companies are in like other countries, but in Japan, it's pretty hardcore. So they like block up your walls with this sort of plastic stuff. They cover your flooring. They make it all really nice. You get these boxes. So if you want to pay extra, they'll actually pack and unpack for you, but it's kind of expensive and we didn't want to do that. But even if you don't go with that method, they still provide you with boxes that have like these checkpoint things. So like, okay, I want upstairs, second bedroom, check. Or like downstairs living room, check. And so they'll put those boxes wherever you've said. So instead of having to sort through 100, brown cardboard boxes, you have these nice, with their logos on it and everything, these nice, properly made, fresh moving boxes. And then where they're supposed to put them is all set. So then it takes a little prep when you're packing, but at least once you moved into the new place, you don't have to stress. Like, all my stuff for the studio was in here, and all the stuff for a bedroom was in there, and all the stuff for the living room, etc. So it was really nice. A lot of people do not know that you can negotiate. So I think for a majority of people, they just get the price and they're like, okay, well, maybe can you give us a discount, or they'll just accept it. And I've heard some pretty high prices. So Shoko's sister, for example, they gave her a quote and she paid that, and that was it. But Shoko is my wife, she's much more of a negotiator. One company Shoko wanted, the CEO was a woman, and she was really into sort of consideration of customers' needs. So one thing that company does is, after the movers have come to the new place, they actually change out their socks. So they're not bringing in dirt or anything bad from the previous place. It's a small thing, but it's that, among other things that this company does, are pretty amazing. And so Shoko really wanted that company, but she was going to negotiate first. So she called a different company to come over, and their initial quote, we were in a one-bedroom apartment, but we had 3 bicycles, we had furniture they would have to take apart and put back together because of the size of our place and the trucks and everything. And we had a lot of stuff. We had a lot of stuff for a one-bedroom apartment. The guy goes through all our things, and then he starts marking it up, and he's like, all right, this is going to cost, I think it was something where like $1,800, because they're like, well, we're going to need several trucks because the alleyway where you live can't fit a big truck. And he's going through all these reasons why it's going to cost this much, like taking apart and reassembling several items or furniture, etc. $1,800 is a lot of money, it's a lot of money. And Shoko just starts immediately with the negotiations. Like, okay, that's crazy. That's far too much for a one-bedroom apartment. She said, I've been doing the research around here. For this size place and this much stuff, it should cost around like this much. So she goes back and forth bantering with this guy, and finally gets him to agree to like $1,000, which is still a lot, but okay, fair enough, right? And then it's getting close to the time where the other guy's gonna come over, and so Shoko says, all right, well, we have another company coming in, so we'll thank you for the offer and see you later. And the guy is like, he tries to get it a little bit lower, but she's like, oh, no, we'll contact you if we do, and so the guy leaves kind of like, crap. And then the company that we really want comes in, and we're so happy, like, okay. So immediately he starts off with a lower number, which is good, than the first guy, but still higher than the estimate that we got. So Shoko shows the estimate, and he's like, "Ooh, who gave this to you? That seems really difficult." And thus the dance began. He calls up his manager. And I don't even know if he's actually calling anybody. He just rings up and he's like, "Yeah." I'm translating obviously, but he's like, "Yeah. So the customer here, she says that she got an estimate from a different company. I know, that's going to be really difficult. Yeah, I know. Ooh, yeah, we'll be losing money probably on that. Yeah, it's okay. You know what? We'll go ahead just this one time and offer her. So he drops it down to something like $800, right? I don't remember. It was a long time ago, so I don't remember the exact numbers. But yeah, he drops it down. And Shoko's like, nah, we can do better. She said, hey, look, I had a friend. I'm going to be honest with you. I had a friend who moved in this exact same situation. She got it down to something crazy like $500. I don't know, something like that. So then the guy's like, oh, there's no way we could do that. And she said, okay, well, we've got the estimate from someone else. We got another company that can come in. So if that's all you've got for us, then, see you later. And he's like, well, hold on. Let me talk to my manager. He's like, hello. Yes. Okay. Oh, yeah, we're actually losing money on this, but word of mouth is really important. Yeah, I know. Okay. All right. So we got it down to like 500 something bucks. And he's like, we'll throw in this Winnie the Pooh humidifier. It was like a collab between their moving company and Disney, right? So it was, I don't know if you guys ever seen these, but it gets really dry in Japan, and they have these humidifiers I used to use in my old tiny place. You put like a plastic bottle, like a Coke bottle or something, you clean it out and you fill it with water, and you put it in this little machine, and it's like a micro humidifier. It doesn't need a tank because you just use a plastic bottle. And he's like, yeah, this is worth the $100 to get it down to like $400, which is where we wanted. We wanted about $400. Well, I was already okay. I was like, it started at 1,800, so we're at like 600 now. I'm pretty happy. 550, 600. I'm happy. But Shogo's like, we can do more. So, yeah. So she says, oh well, how about you keep the humidifier and we just get $400 for the moving? And the guy said, oh, but it's really a valuable thing. We can't do that. But I tell you what, it's such a valuable and rare thing that actually you can sell this later, or you hold on to it. It's only made for this company, collab with Disney for a short time. So it's going to be worth something later. So you can it's like an investment. And Shoko said, oh, really? That's interesting. So why don't you keep it? You can have ours and we'll take the discount. And the guy said, oh, I don't need it. Shoko, just the way she said it though, like, oh, it's going to be valuable. How about you take it then? And he's like, oh, I'm okay. I already have one. So we're going, or she's still going back and forth with them. She really wants to get it down to $400. I mean, think about this. We started at $1,800 and she's closing in on $400. So the guy calls his manager one last time and he's like, yeah, I know this is definitely a loss of money, but I feel like, we really want to help these guys out and they'll give us a good review, right? Yeah. Okay. Bye. And he said, yeah, I'm going to get in trouble for this, but I tell you what, we were able to work it out. If you can use used boxes, because they usually give you brand new boxes with their company logo on it, as I was explaining earlier with the check boxes and stuff like that. Like if you can take used boxes from another move, then we can do it for $400. And Shoko's thought about it, and I'm thinking like, take the deal, $400. That's crazy good. And she's like, I don't want those dirty boxes. In my mind, I'm screaming like, no, what are you doing? We're going to lose this. I'm just like, Shoko, just take it. I'm like screaming at her through my eyes. I'm like, dude, this is such a good deal. Don't. And he sighs. And I think like this dude's just going to walk out. He's done. And I don't blame him. But I think that at this point, his job is to negotiate a contract. And if he can't do it, he's just wasted like 2 hours plus whatever transit time and all that. He's wasted time of his life and he's got nothing to show for it. So I think probably they have some company policy where they're willing to go fairly low occasionally just to get that contract and one up the main competitor, because our initial estimate was from their main competitor. So I think the last thing they wanted was to go us to go through them or go through someone else. So he says, all right, I tell you what, you can have new boxes, but they're in my car now. If you take them now and sign the contract, $400 it is. just in my mind, like, holy, she did it. She did it. She freaking did it. How the hell did she do it? And we did. We signed the contract. We got the boxes right away, which was fine for us because we could already start packing and getting ready. And then he leaves. I had been willing to settle at like $800-900. I was so happy that we got it like to half price, but she didn't take no for an answer. Like, she just kept going. So, mad respect for Shoko on that. Then moving day comes, right? And so they said originally that the alleyway was too small. They're going to send several trucks. They actually sent a massive moving truck, like a huge, kind of like one of those, I wouldn't say like an 18-wheeler, but it was pretty damn big like that. They somehow back it into the entryway area, and they proceed to pack everything up. And as big as this moving truck is, by the time they add our bikes at the end, it is fully packed. So we loaded the entire truck, and it took, I think it was 2 guys to do that. And we're hands off. Like, we don't touch anything. They take care of everything. We're not supposed to touch anything because I think they'll be liable. So they clean out our place. And one really random thing was the landlady for our property lives right like above us, or on the floor above us. And we had given our notice and we had done everything, but to the property manager, but somehow she didn't know. So she walks by and she's like, are you guys moving out? I said, yeah, we notified, ahead of time and did everything by the books. We did like the whole checks and everything. And she's like, oh, okay. See you. She was really confused. So I guess somewhere along the line, someone didn't tell her that we were moving out. So she was really shocked, but we had done everything by the book. And we had given our month's notice and everything. So, someone dropped the ball that wasn't us, but I felt kind of bad for her because she was so surprised. She's just like, what happened? But anyways, it was fine. So, at this point, because we had so much stuff, they had taken forever to load the truck. It's already getting late. They drive to our area. It's the same city, so I think that also helped us get the better discount, because if we were moving across country or something, it's different, but same city. So I'd say like, it's a motorcycle outside, man, it's so loud. I would say that it was probably like a 30-40 minute, if they're driving carefully in a big truck, maybe 30-40 minute drive, so it's not too bad. They get here and they realize that in order to get all our bed frame, I have a massive bed frame, a massive bed. We have a huge bookshelf, all this stuff they had to take apart, like rebuild. In order to get the bed frame, they could take apart, but the bookshelf they couldn't. So to get that and a few other things up, they had to haul it over our balcony. And we were really lucky that we were the first house in this, we were the first ones in this housing area. They could walk through the backyard of what would be our future neighbors, but nobody lived there yet. So they could just kind of like walk in and throw it up and everything like that. So by the time it was getting late, 2 more people came in, or 3 more people. Yeah, it was by the time they got here, it was already getting way later than we expected too. 3 more people had finished moving at another house, came and helped. So we have 5 people moving our stuff in, rebuilding things, putting boxes where they belong after they set everything up. And also included in this price is it's like a present where they go to all our neighbors and apologize for the noise and inconvenience and give them like a little present. It's usually some towels or some tissues or something, but it's more of a gesture to say, hey, we're new to the neighborhood, and also apologize for all the noise and all the obstruction of the traffic around the area. So they're basically handling the new neighbor stuff for us. We don't have to do anything. So they go and do all that. They put up all the sheets around the house so that everything's protected, and they move everything. It's amazing. They're even asking us like, where do you want your bed to face? And then how about the bookshelf? Or do you want us to move it here? And we could try it a few different ways. And they finish up. It's been 8 or 9 hours, 5 people, 1 massive truck, a crazy amount of work, $400. I think that, each of those guys has paid like $100 at least a day. And, the moving truck, the gas, the presents they gave out, all the materials they put up, the boxes they gave us and came and picked up later for free. And also included in the entire move was if we wanted to move one massive piece of furniture one time and within 6 months or something, we can call them and they'll come out and do it. We didn't need to do that, but just the fact that, if we were indecisive about something and let's say, ooh, I'd rather have the couch on this side of the room, or we'd rather have the bed facing the other direction, and they can come and like help us move it or move it themselves wherever we want. So all this happened for that price. And for what they did is so insane. To this day, I still think like that dude that signed the contract with us probably got in some trouble for it. So we felt so bad because they were sweating. They were working so hard. We offered them beer. They said no. We offered them money. They said no. Said they were happy to do the job. They were all very professional, fairly young people, but quite strong as well. Obviously, they move every day and stuff. But I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that we were able to move from point A to point B, which is about $400, and they did everything over an entire day. Still, I think that was well worth it. If we had tried to move all that stuff on our own, it would have taken days and days and days, and it would have been a nightmare. We would have had to take probably the bookshelf, the wardrobe, a few other things completely apart. And like IKEA furniture is not really good with taking apart and putting back together. So yeah, it ended up being really good in the end, but still, I can't believe it. So anyways, that was the experience we had moving. If you're ever living in Japan and decide to move, negotiate, use multiple companies, because $1,800 and not as many services provided, $400 with maximum service provided. It's a huge difference. And there's some things like that in Japan where you can negotiate. It's a little bit harder now, but we used to negotiate electronic shops, and we got our washer, our TVs, our dishwasher, almost all our appliances we negotiated. It's crazy that you can do that, and a lot of people don't know. It's not as easy anymore because they started moving away from that. But we furnished this house with negotiations, and it worked out well. So anyways, thanks for listening, guys. This has been another Japan Talks, and we'll be covering more of the process of buying a house and what it was like what it's like to basically live in Japan. So yeah, if you enjoy these, make sure to, if you're listening on Spotify, make sure to follow the Content Crush. And if you are on YouTube or any other platform, whatever, make sure to follow. Please like and subscribe and leave those comments because they make a difference. I will see you guys next time.